Right, guys, let's get stuck in. Taking you back to Friday night, the big talking points at and VAR failing to award a penalty for Adrian Truffaut's challenge on Ahmad. Look, Man United, they're going to make an official complaint, a formal complaint, to head of referees Howard Webb. First of all, look, Dermot, what did you make of the decision?
I think they're both penalties. And I think the problem that happened is not giving that one. It manifests itself later because the second one is also a goal-scoring opportunity, so their argument is it's a penalty. If you look at them, they're so similar. So I think, on balance, give both.
And look, because Christie goes up the other end and scores, does that get the officials out of making a big decision on the Ahmed penalty appeal?
It's just an unfortunate consequence, isn't it, Hayley, that, you know, you look at that. The referee has got the most perfect position. If you look, it's not quite in this picture here, but he's looking straight at it. He's looking straight at it. And in fairness, he waves it away straight away. The ball goes up the other end, it goes to the net. Ironically, the VAR is still checking the decision when the ball goes in the net. So
why wouldn't they have just told him that, you know, he's made a mistake?
Well, they can't tell him he's made a mistake. What they can say is it a clear and obvious error? And Stuart's obviously fed back to them. I don't think it's enough of a shove. I don't think there's enough in it. They look at it and they back the referee.
But like you said there, Derms, the referee is in a great position to see everything. And, you know, when you look at it, I had some friends saying, oh, it's soft, he's gone down too easy. Diallo must be about, what, 5'6", right? And the defender's obviously in the wrong position and he's shoved him. And then the way he's fallen, it doesn't look like he's not exaggerated that at all. He's just off balance. So I can't understand why the referee hasn't seen that and he's made the decision against that. And I think that is the reason why this whole commotion has started now, because I think if the Maguire ones happens first, this one is then a penalty, I think. But it's obviously happened the other way around, and I know it's hindsight. But it's definitely a penalty for me.
Yeah, look, on that, fans are comparing that challenge to Harry Maguire's on Evan Nielsen, which saw a red card. Here we are, passage of play. Why are they different, Dermot?
Well, that's what I said, Hayley. If you look at it, this one is slightly different. It's a goal-scoring opportunity, but you know, you look at the way he does it. It's almost when you see them together, you say, well, either they're both penalties or neither of them are penalties, because whichever way the referee jumps, people would expect him to jump the same way twice. In fairness, he may well think later, well, you know, I've learnt from the first one. Looks back and says, well, this one is, you know, I can't repeat the mistake. Again,
I mean, I would like to hear the referee come out and say something based upon that.
Yeah.
Like the referee in Germany did last week. He said he made a mistake. I think, you know, no one likes to see mistakes, but it will make things better if the referee came out and said that. But I think this one here was Evan Nielsen's brilliance, by the way. It was a great first touch, and he's touched it back where Maguire doesn't want to go. I think there's less contact with that one than the Diallo one, but I think Evan Nielsen's first touch has made him get in that position. So it was great play from him, but I think both of them are penalties.
And what we call for every week is consistency. I mean, is this issue about referee consistency? I mean, or is it VAR just meant to spot clear and obvious errors?
Well, consistency is great as long as you get it right every time, isn't it? But
yeah.
if we agree the first one's a penalty, so we agree that's wrong, do you want him to get the second one wrong just to be consistent, or do you want him to go, well, I'm going to get that one right? So that's the problem with consistency. It's brilliant if it does what you want, but it's like VAR. VAR is great if it gives the decision you want.
Yeah, an issue with how VAR is applied, because you just want that right decision, don't you?
And that's why it's there, isn't it? So you can get that right decision. You know, especially how long these people take at VAR. Like if you're rewinding it and seeing it and checking it, speaking to your colleagues, I don't understand why there's a lot of wrong decisions. And again, a lot of these decisions for me that they do get wrong are common sense. And, you know, it's not me being disrespectful to the referees, but I think that when you've played the game, I think the better referees, in my opinion, are the ones that actually have an understanding of the game because they've played it. And it's not to say you're playing at the highest level, any level, but I think it's the ones that haven't played the game are the ones that have a different interpretation of what is a foul and what isn't. And I think that's where the game comes into the inconsistent things we don't want to see.
I think, though, you've got to be careful that VAR isn't a panacea. It's not there to get everything right, and it never will. A VAR is there to correct the Thierry handball, if you like, in the World Cup. It's things like clear and obvious errors. It's not there to re-referee. It's not there to go, Jay, you've got this wrong, so you've got to do this. You know, you've got to be mindful that there's always going to be a subjective element.
And that's where I think that the debate comes into play, because yes, it is subjective, but I feel like the referees, the officials that get more decisions right are the ones that have actually played the game rather than the ones that have just looked at the rules from a textbook.
OK, look, Michael Carrick compared the Ahmad incident to this penalty given for a foul on Matheus Cunha. So comparing it to that, is that a fairer comparison?
There's no question, this one. I mean, it's great play from Cunha, and you can see him. He's actually grabbed his shirt. Yes, Cunha's gone down. People might say he's made the most of it, but he's got this view's the best view. Like, he's grabbing him, he feels it, he's gone down, but it's good play from the forward. But that one's obvious, I think.
Yeah.
And look, another one to bring you here as well. We've got Bournemouth fans. I mean, they're asking why Evan Nilsson wasn't awarded a penalty in the first half. This, you can see here, Maguire pushing him. What do you think to this one then?
I didn't think this was a penalty, actually. I think both players are tangled, but Evan Nilsson's overrun the ball anyhow. I think there's minimal contact, but for me, I wouldn't give that if I was a referee.
And I don't know, I think if that was me, I'd be asking for it.
Well, I was a forward.
If that was me, I'd be asking for that. But I kind of understand why it hasn't been given, and I think it's what you said. The ball was going behind him. And then the fact that Evan Nilsson didn't really appeal for it. He didn't throw his hands up and stand up and start running towards the referee. He just kind of let it go.
OK.
Hopefully.
Hope it
magically.
Because I'm nervous about this one.
Are you? So you've received a few tweets already from people saying they didn't realise that it was also going to include players from City and Arsenal who were in the Carabao Cup final yesterday.
I checked my brilliant producer and he said you can put Carabao Cup in.
No, we don't doubt that. So just clarify.
Yeah.
Right, let's start with the keeper. James Trafford. Pep Guardiola obviously stuck with him in goal for the Carabao Cup final, and I mean he made some really good saves, certainly in the first half.
Well, that's why I picked him. The triple save he makes here. I was going to say free was fantastic. There's the first one, there's the second one, and there's the third one. There's the third one. I thought he was brilliant, to be fair. It was a big call because we saw what happened
the other end
with Kepa. So Pep picked him. But when James Trafford went there, he went there as a number one. So I think that was totally different. So, yeah, and I thought he was outstanding. In big moments, you need goalkeepers to step up. He stepped up in the big moment. That's why he's in.
What do you think is going to happen to him in the summer, Trafford?
Big one, yeah. I'd love him to stay at Man City because I don't think Donnarumma was going to be... But then you look at Donnarumma's age and I thought he was a lot older than he is, and he's a lot younger. So it's a big call for him because he wants to be England's number one eventually. But if you're playing second to Donnarumma, you're not going to be like that. So it's a big call for him. But I hope he does stay there and fight for his position because I like him.
Well, you're saying he wants to be England's number one. Surely he wants to be a number one.
Yeah, of course he does. He's not a number one, but he might. There was talk of maybe Newcastle were interested in him as well. So that could become an option again in the summer, but he's a good goalkeeper.
You've got 3 of City's back 4.
They were magnificent. And Núñez was brilliant on the right back. He assisted O'Reilly for one of the goals. And he's usually a midfielder, and I've been critical of him before, but I thought he's fantastic. O'Reilly's... Well, we'll get to him in a minute, but Nathan Ake was outstanding. For the first 10 minutes, when Victor Gyökeres was running him, I was thinking, oh, have you made the right decision? But there's no Diaz. John Stones weren't ready. I thought Ake, not playing a lot of games, came in, and he was fantastic. Defended well, was comfortable in possession, so I had to put Ake in. And I thought they dealt with all Arsenal's attacks. Even though Arsenal weren't great, they didn't make them look great either.
Bruno Fernandes, most Mondays, is in your weekend
but
at the moment, isn't it?
I don't even need to talk
Rightly
about Bruno.
so as well.
Bruno's been outstanding. His level of performance is brilliant, to be fair, and he's just that guy. He should have scored here, though, because he's in my fantasy team. Would have got me more points, but a good save from Petrovic. But I thought he was outstanding again. I'm not saying he's single-handedly carrying United because they've got top players in Cunha and Buemo, Diallo, Casemiro, but he's been outstanding, Bruno Fernandes.
Player of the year?
He'll be up there. It'll be him. It'll be either him, Declan Rice, or Gabriel. I think he'll be out of them 3 at the moment. But if he keeps putting in performances like this, he's definitely up there. He's been brilliant, Dave, isn't he?
Yeah.
And you have also included this Fulham duo in here as well.
Yeah, but Harry Wilson should be in most. He's outstanding. I think he's fantastic. What he's doing at the moment is brilliant. But you know why I put young Josh Keane in? because it's his first Premier League goal. He got it taken away from him at Stamford Bridge, and he deserves one. So, yeah, I'm so happy for him. It don't matter how it goes in, but he's a bright talent, and he'll be a future international as well. I think he's a fantastic footballer. And you can see how happy all his teammates were for him. And, yeah, he thoroughly deserved it. And I do like him. I think he's a special player. So he has to be in my team of the week. And if anyone don't like it, I'm here for it.
That's the attitude we want. Right, we'll get to Danny Welbeck in a moment, who scored a couple of goals against Liverpool in that early kick-off on Saturday. But you've got both of Everton's Ndiaye and Beto in there because of their performance. Yeah,
he's been getting criticised a lot, Beto, and rightly so, because he missed a lot of big chances. But I thought on the weekend he was a handful. He scored the 2 goals. He got the assist for Iliman and Ndiaye as well. And, yeah, if Everton are going to try and get into these European places, I think the strikers are going to be so important. As for Ndiaye, I know we're showing Beto. He is that guy, by the way. Ndiaye is that guy. You speak to a lot of footballers and they say he's one of those who can go to all kinds of different levels. But, yeah, I know Sanchez could do better there, but I like Beto's movement. But this guy is a special, special player. Look at this for a finish. Right in that top corner. I don't care what goalkeeper's in there, he's not saving it. And, yeah, he's on a different level. Everyone fans will be shouting at me saying, don't big him up too much. Don't need to big him up too much. Everyone knows that he's a star.
And just continuing the Everton theme in the midfield, I mean, James Garner was great. Again.
See, I wanted to put him in.
And the pass for Beto was just... the weight on it was...
I'm glad Dave said that, because I did want to put him in. But Josh King getting his first Premier League goal, and Harry Wilson's been outstanding. But I did want to put Garner in. Special mention to Garner. He's been outstanding this season. He deserves his England call-up.
Well, he got an England call-up. Danny Welbeck didn't.
Yeah, I don't know how.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with you.
Man like Welbeck should be definitely in there.